I'm reading this book by the Daily Dad, Ryan Holiday, 366 Meditations on Parenting, Love, and Raising Great Kids. And of course, I'm a mom, but I do want to be a better mom. And so I love Ryan Holiday, so I picked this book up. But this particular entry, he's talking about when we tell our kids, and I tell my kids every day, they know better, why are they doing this? Or they're arguing and they're fussing and fighting, or my daughter, she might be throwing a temper tantrum. And I might say to her, she's too old for that. And in this entry with Ryan Holiday, he talks about we have to remind ourselves today and every day that we are getting older, that it's time to grow out of these silly habits you've lazily allowed yourself to fall into. Remind yourself that you're too old to act out, to stoop this low, to not be responsible for yourself. And remember, your kids are always watching, so act like an adult that they believe that you are. And this really made me think about, he says, you're an adult. What excuses do you have? And it really hit home for me because I always tell my daughter she's too old to be throwing temper tantrums. And when we think about it, we can be guilty of acting like kids. We can be guilty of doing things that we know better. We should be doing better, right? And so we don't have an excuse, right? We're not a kid anymore, so we should act accordingly. But this really made me think about how we act silly, we have these habits, with these things we do that we're too old to be doing, right? And so it just calls attention to things that I need to work on, things that I shouldn't be doing as an adult, things that I know better, And so I guess I'll be reminded every time I tell my kid, you know better than that. Stop doing that. You're too old, whatever it is. It'll be a reminder to me that there's things that I need to stop doing. There's things that I need to do better. There's things that I know better and I still do, So food for thought today about changing those little habits that don't serve us, right? That make we look like a kid when we do it, right? Whether it's giving silent treatment, yelling, screaming, whatever these things are that we're doing that just don't make any sense. That's not becoming of an adult. That it's things that kids do, right? Not adults.